am someone who wears makeup every single day. So my everyday look when I'm not going anywhere special and I'm just hanging out is the one I'm wearing today, and I'm going to show you how I do it. I have got my hair pushed back off of my face so that I don't get any makeup in my hair, and I have moisturizer on my face, but so far that is it. So now let's get started with the actual makeup. Even for my everyday looks, I like to start with primer because otherwise I feel like this makeup just does not stay where it's supposed to on my skin, no matter which one I use. They always get creasy and flaky, so I like a primer. I like the e.l.f. Grip Primer, but I like the pink one. Everyone loves the green one, and I actually prefer the pink one because it is infused with niacinamide. It's a more dewy finish than the green one, but still very sticky finish and really helps your makeup to hold. And I just put a dab of that on my forehead, on my cheeks, on my chin, and I just rub that in with my fingers. And it just makes my makeup sit on my skin much nicer than it would without it. I don't normally get a lot of acne, but I do have some hormonal spots, a couple here and one right on my forehead, which is very unusual. Usually I just get them on my chin, but I do have a little bit of that right now. So I'm going to start off with a little bit of my concealer on those spots. I am using the NYX Pro Fix Stick, and this is the correct concealer stick. Just trying to figure out what shade. 04 Light. So just put that on. Now I don't do concealer underneath my makeup unless I have acne spots. Otherwise, I don't do concealer until I go over top of my makeup. Just gonna let that sit for like maybe 10 seconds or so, and then I just dab it in with my fingers. It doesn't have to be completely blended because we are gonna put a foundation over top. But this is just gonna help to hide that acne a lot better. All right, now the foundation. For the winter, my favorite foundation is the Covergirl Simply Ageless. The Covergirl Simply Ageless Skin Perfecting Essence. It's the one with the weird little beads of color inside clear serum. I like it. It's not heavy coverage. It is definitely light coverage, but I like it to look like my skin. I'm not a super heavy coverage girl, especially for a more everyday look. I definitely went through a period of my life where I did heavy coverage foundation all the time, but I do not do that anymore. So I just put some of that all over, and I use a fluffy brush to blend it in. This is one of the e.l.f. Unlimited Blending Foundation brushes. So I sort of just tap and buff. And it just really nicely evens out my skin tone. I literally just figured out that I can do portrait video. That looks so much better. I'm gonna film it like that now. So sorry, I switched during the filming. I hope that wasn't weird for you guys. So I'm literally stopped to like fix something on my phone and just accidentally figured that out. I am still just buffing in that foundation. I'm careful when I hit the spots that have concealer not to rub, because it will kind of rub the concealer off. I find I just tap it in. I do put my foundation right over my eyelids. Again, if I'm not doing like a really heavy makeup look, I don't worry about priming my eyelids or anything like that. I just prime with my foundation. I like to keep it simple. Perfect finish, just looks like your skin, just better. So now I'm gonna do contour. I do always contour my face a little bit. I'm just used to it. You definitely don't have to contour for your everyday makeup, but I'm used to having my face contoured at least a little bit, so I kind of feel like my face looks really flat without it. The one that I like for my more subtle contour is the Halo Glow Beauty Wand by e.l.f. This one here, this is one of the contour ones. It says contour right on it. And this is the Fair Light shade. I do really like this because it is a cool tone contour. It's perfect for winter because it's not super bronzy. And I don't always want a really bronzy tan look in the winter because it's just not my natural look. If I don't have any fake tan on or anything like that, I prefer a cool contour over a bronzy contour. Gonna contour my nose, just the sides, nothing crazy, and a bit on my jaw. Then I just blend it all in. Same sort of buffing, tapping motion as I do with my foundation. I used to use a lot of powder products. I had oily skin, very oily skin, and I still have slightly oily skin for sure, but it was very oily when I was young, so I stuck with a lot of powder products. But I have found as I've gotten older, I don't like the powdered products as well. They don't leave my skin looking as healthy and young as I'd like. They sort of age my skin, they settle into lines. So I have stopped using any powder products on my face. The most recent powder product that I gave up was blush. I occasionally will do a bit of powder bronzer at the very, very end, but that's it. I even stopped using powdered blush and finally jumped on the liquid blush bandwagon. I was pretty nervous about that because I never really used liquid blushes and I was afraid of how pigmented they can be, but I found some that I have really, really liked. So that has been really great. All right. So you can see the contour is nothing crazy, just adds a little bit of depth to the face so it's not quite so flat. Now we will do the blush. So the liquid blush I've been using is the Camo liquid blush. It is another e.l.f. product. This shade is perfect for an everyday look. I do have a really pink shade as well that's super pretty, but it's a lot more pigment and a lot of color. This is Peach Perfect by e.l.f. and it's the perfect sort of everyday shade. Now, I don't use a ton. I don't love a heavy blush on my skin. I do 2 little dots sort of right in the center of my cheek. Just like that. And I use another brush. This is a Dermablend brush I got for free with some Dermablend foundation years ago. It's really, really dense. I don't like it for foundation, but I actually found that I really like it for blending in my liquid blush. So same sort of tapping and blending motion. Gonna add a tiny bit more. And that is one thing I really like about these blushes is they are very buildable. And I always start with less and add more if I need to, because taking it off means washing your face. Or I have tried putting a little more foundation over the blush, which does work okay, but I end up with a lot heavier of a makeup look than I'd like. But I would always rather add more than feel like I've got too much. And I just like to put whatever's left over just sort of on my nose and across the top of my cheeks. Just a bit of a subtle sun-kissed look. It's not super noticeable. All right, we are going to do eyeshadow now. This is one of my go-to looks for everyday eyeshadow. This is an Essence palette. I actually bought this palette for my 9-year-old and she didn't really like the colors. She's not a pink person, so she ended up not really using it. And I stole it from her. For how inexpensive Essence makeup is, I really find their eyeshadows are super pigmented for the price point. They're not the most pigmented eyeshadows in the world, but I'm not a huge pigment person. I'd rather build my pigment, and they are very buildable. So you can get a lot of pigment by layering them on, but they are great to work with if you're not used to working with a lot of eyeshadow because they don't go on super heavy to start with, and you can get a really pretty look without worrying that you're gonna like make yourself look like a clown. So this is which palette is this? The beautiful Aroma, well, Bienveniti Aroma palette. I assume that is Italian. I'm probably saying it wrong, but we are gonna start. I don't know if these shades have any names on them. I do not believe that they do. They are corresponding with numbers in the back for ingredients, but no names. So we are gonna be starting with shade number 8, which is this like taupey shade here. So again, I just use the same brush for everything. This is a fluffy brush. I think it's e.l.f. Yes, it's a fluffy e.l.f. brush. So I'm just gonna dab on, and I literally just start in my outer corner and I work it sort of towards the middle of my eyelid, going into my crease. Now I have a deep crease and a deep eyelid. My eyeshadow placement might not work for you if you have different eyelids, different shaped eyes, but this is how I do it and how I like it. So I just do that, and I like it to come up onto my brow bone just a little bit with this soft shade. All right, and then I take this light shade. It kind of looks white in the camera, but it's more of like a light stone shade. The one next to it's like a white shimmer, but I'm going to use this one from my inner corner and just gently brush that over towards the mid. Very nice. And then I'm going to take this dark shade, which I know looks scary because it is very dark. It's a dark brown. Just going to give it a couple little taps, and I'm literally going to put it right in between my eyelid and my brow bone and just sort of dig it into there, just like this. Dig my brush right in there, and then once I feel like I've got all that pigment off, I'm just going to do like these big circular motions in that area to blend the colors together. Really easy, really simple. Dig it into that brow bone. Maybe a tiny bit more. And then blend. And the last thing I do for my eyes is my e.l.f. Lash Extender Mascara. This is my absolute favorite mascara. Once I started using this, I have not used a single other mascara since, and I never will. It is a tubing mascara, so I do not get raccoon eyes from it, which is amazing because literally every other mascara in existence has always given me raccoon eyes unless it's waterproof, and then the waterproof stuff after a while starts to wreck your eyelashes, and it's really hard to get it off. This stuff comes off so easily. It doesn't make a mess, but it doesn't come off until I want it to come off. So this stuff is a win. Tubing mascara, it like coats your eyelash in like a little tube. So the mascara comes off in like one piece off of each eyelash. It's really cool, but it does not melt off your face. No raccoon eyes, and it looks great. It makes my eyelashes thicker, longer looking. I think it actually does extend them a bit. But all I know is I love it, and I get a ton of compliments when I wear it. I just keep going until I feel like I've got all of my eyelashes, and I know I touched myself up there a little bit. You can see that difference. I do have blonde eyelashes, so any mascara I wear makes a big difference, obviously, but this one is absolutely by far my favorite, hands down, no contest. That's the worst place to get it. It's so hard to wipe it off when you have long nails. I can't use the tip of my finger really, because I can't get in there. Maybe I can scratch it off with my nail. This mascara is definitely running out. I definitely need a new one. When it is fresh, I honestly only even go over my lashes once with it, but It is definitely running out at this point, but I wear it every single day, so. And it does last me a long time. It lasts me a few months. Probably about 3 months, even though, oh my gosh, I did it again. Even though I wear it every single day. I'm making it worse. Oh, I don't usually do that. It's probably because I'm just gonna finish looking in the mirror. This camera is messing me up. All right, the last thing that I'm going to do is my lips. This is Maybelline New York Color Sensational Shaping Lip Liner in the shade 104 Gone Grayish. This is my favorite. The only lip liner I've ever loved this much. I've heard rumors it's being discontinued, and I really hope that's not true. But it's like the perfect nude. It's like a cool nude. And I just love it. I overline my lips very, very slightly. Like I'm not drawing on my skin, but sort of hovering that line between the skin and the edge of my lip. Because it just gives my lips like that plumping look. Like I had lip filler, but without actually getting lip filler. I'm kind of glad I resisted the whole lip filler trend because it seems like everybody's getting their lip filler dissolved now. All right, I like to tap the edges just to kind of blur it so it's not super lined. And then I just do a lip oil. The e.l.f. Glow Reviver Lip Oil. This is the shade Pink Quartz, but I don't really feel like this shade has any color. Like it is pink, but it's really just a clear. I actually really like the color of my lips. And I love lip oil over lip gloss. I feel like it stays shiny so much longer, hydrates your lips, and my hair doesn't stick to it. So, but looks the same as gloss. So let's just do the hair and then we'll have the final look. There we go, final product. I had to do the hair first because we all know the makeup doesn't look nearly as good until your hair is also done. So there we go. Close-up view, no filter. The makeup finishes really, really nicely. I find that this combination of makeup lasts really, really well. By the very end of the night, 12 plus hours later, I might have a little bit of cakiness around my nose ring, and it might wear off a bit in certain areas, like around my mouth, but the makeup is so light wear that you can't tell. It doesn't look like it's gone. It stays looking really, really nice. I might just look a little less even skin toned by the very end of the day if it's been more than 12 hours or so. But if I'm going to wear it really, really long, I will usually also use a setting spray. I just avoid a setting spray on a regular day basis. I don't want to put something so heavy on my skin on just a normal day when it's really not going anywhere at all. Thank you so much for watching today. I really love having you here. If you don't already subscribe to my channel, please do so because I would love to have you as part of my DIY Hair School family. Don't forget to like my videos because it really helps me out. Share them with your friends if you think they would be helpful, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos because I do post 3 every single week. Thank you so much for watching today. See you next time.